Hey guys, we're back.
Hello.
Woof. He did this.
We didn't plan that out. Sorry. Damn.
Did
Cancel the
not
show.
plan that up.
Alrighty, welcome back to Dogs in the House, episode 3, baby.
Rough.
Let's go. We made it to 3 weeks.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I
Who'da
would have
thought?
thought we would have got kicked off by now.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
love us.
Yeah, we're kind of big dogs.
Yeah. Do you believe
Rough.
in miracles?
We're
Yeah.
not talking about hockey on the show.
Anyway. So why don't you guys talk a little bit about your little
Our
trip?
excursion?
Dogs went on a trip.
Dude,
little
the dogs
excursion?
took on
I didn't
Connecticut.
go. I wasn't invited, but you guys went. So talk all about
Yeah,
it.
3 tickets would have gone to $200 a person. We only had
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, it wasn't the most ideal purchase if we had to go with 3 people.
Yeah, also name 3 WNBA players.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese.
Okay, without those 2.
So you guys had a good time, is what I'm hearing. You guys had a
We
great
had the
time.
best time. It was actually, for how cheap the tickets were, I thought the
Oh, how
seats...
cheap? How cheap the tickets were? Anyway, go ahead.
I thought the seats were going to be like not the best seats. You think of cheap tickets, but you sat there and they were amazing.
Yeah.
They were probably the
For
best.
60
like
bucks?
60
Yeah.
bucks I've ever
I saw the
spent.
photos you guys took and it looked really cool.
Oh
Looked
yeah, I
sick.
posted
was
on
good.
the Instagram story. You're
Yeah.
welcome, because
Thank
you
you.
couldn't
A lot of
do
fun.
it.
Like, it takes a team. You know what I mean?
Caitlin
It
Clark
does.
also had herself a game.
25 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, but they did end up losing.
Yeah,
I think
eliminated.
you called it too. I think you called.
I was 1 point off for both scores.
That's
I
crazy.
said 86-80 and it was 87-81.
Ah.
Ah,
Ah.
ah.
Anyways, that's really cool though. I saw the pictures. I mean, really cool stuff. I don't know a lot about WNBA
It's okay, you'll learn.
yet.
You'll learn.
I'll learn.
Yeah.
I'll learn. But it looked really cool.
Because
It was a lot of fun.
everyone watches women's sports,
Yes.
especially now.
Yes.
There were a
They
lot
must.
Of, a lot
They
of people
must.
with hoodies that said everybody watches women's sports.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's for some
Yeah.
reason it's like a trend right now to wear that. I don't know why, but it
I don't know, I
is.
thought the hoodies were cool.
No, there was an old lady that was sitting next to us, right? And she
Yeah.
looks at my sweatshirt because I had a Caitlin Clark sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Can I take a picture of your sweatshirt?" So she took a pic. Mind you, I thought she was just going to zoom in on like the Fever 22.
It's just like your face.
It's my entire body, front
Oh,
and
wow.
back. And then,
That's-
she,
Oh, yeah. I had to
Crazy.
move out of the way for that lady.
and then
That's
she asked
wild.
me if I was on Facebook. I think she was going to tag me in it, but I don't have Facebook.
yeah.
And then
Wow.
the little kid behind me spilled water all down my back. Mind you, like 20 minutes before the game started.
Yeah,
That's
other than
crazy.
that, though, those fans were like some of the nicest
Jose
fans.
had a great time.
I had a
Yeah,
fantastic
Jose had a great
Those
time.
were some of the nicest fans. I was sitting right next to someone who was a Connecticut Sun fan, and
yeah.
we were just vibing the whole time.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy.
Usually
That's so
you're
cool.
at like any other stadium, or like any other sport, really, and it's like, let's say like you're a Knicks fan at Boston Stadium, you
Ooh.
know,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
you're not gonna hear the end of it, but
No.
The
it
casino
felt good.
attached to the arena was pretty cool too.
huge.
Oh,
Lost
you
the
guys-
house.
yeah.
We
Guys-
didn't end up going
Yep.
into the casino.
No.
Excuse me.
I don't live in a house anymore, Jack. No.
Anyway.
We had to walk through it to get to the arena. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's awesome, guys.
Yeah, it was
We
a lot
wish
of fun.
you could have been there.
Cool little class
No, I
trip.
don't.
I'm so
Oh.
glad I was not invited.
Anyways, moving on.
Oh, okay,
So,
Jose.
This is his time to
continuing in the world of basketball, sad news. Derrick Rose retired. The youngest MVP in NBA history was waived by the Memphis Grizzlies, and after that, quickly announced his retirement. Thoughts, Sydney?
Womp womp.
No,
I'm just-
I don't really have.
I don't
one
like
thought.
Derrick
I'm
Rose.
just kidding.
He had a good career.
Nice. So, other than that, the Knicks also traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo and a first-round pick that Detroit had to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns straight up. The trade hasn't been finalized, so technically neither teams are supposed to speak on it. But yesterday was media day,
Yeah.
and then trying to dodge the question, Tom Thibodeau didn't really answer anything. Jalen Brunson didn't really answer anything. Josh Hart, however, will
love
definitely
that
rack
guy.
up a couple of fines.
Yeah.
He talked about it in the open. I don't know how I feel about the trade. I was really upset Friday night.
He was.
I was livid Friday night.
I mean,
you know,
again, I'm again not a great,
this is like the Stephon Diggs
not a
trade.
great basketball thing, but
This is the equivalent of a Stephon Diggs trade.
Weren't they also from Villanova?
Yes.
Yeah,
Dante was.
from Villanova.
I've been saying this the entire time because I heard a little bit about this trade because I have a lot of friends who are Knicks fans, not Jose though, and
not friends.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
crazy.
Do you guys hate each other?
we're just joshing
yeah,
around.
we're just dudes being bros.
Well, what's it called? I remember hearing that. I was like, honestly, nowadays I feel like it's much smarter for a team to invest in multiple players from the college level, regardless if it's basketball or football. I feel like built-in chemistry is so important nowadays. You can't really force that. To me, again, I don't know if it's a good move or not. I'm sure you're a much better judge than that. But I mean, do you think it was the right thing to do? I mean, do you think the payoff will
The thing
work?
is, in the moment, no.
No.
Friday when it first happened, when I read the notification, I was really upset.
Yeah.
I planned coming into this show having a Stephen A. style speech, talking so much crap about the Knicks,
Oh man,
so much.
as you wear their hat.
And
He
then-
wears that hat every day.
I wear the hat every day,
It's a
and
good
then it kind of grew on me. I'm also delusional. I'll keep that in mind.
Ah,
And
You need a little delusion.
We all are.
I'll accept it. If it's my team, I'm gonna watch every single game regardless. So I'm gonna have to accept the
yeah.
fact that he's on the court. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So try to look at the positives, a little less of the negatives. I felt the same way with the OG Anunoby trade a while back, and I thought the Celtics were going to be bad when they traded for Porzingis. I was wrong.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm praying that I'm wrong on this one.
Okay.
And every single Timberwolves All-Star that has been traded away from the Timberwolves has won a championship.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
it probably would be the Knicks to end that streak, but
No, it's
I
the
digress.
Knicks and Suns, 125, 115.
yeah, because you guessed it.
Yeah.
Even though she said
Yeah.
Julius Randle was going to shoot a game-winning 3 in the finals against the Knicks from Minnesota, but it's
Mind you,
fine.
that was Friday after he just told me he was upset. I said, yeah, Julius Randle's about to hit the game-winning three-point basket against the Knicks
crazy.
at the final. I'm
Oh,
so
gosh.
mean.
That's crazy, though. I mean, sorry. Sorry, but you know what? Like, at least from any kind of like sports fan perspective, things are usually not as bad as they seem. And people who make those decisions, although yes, seems very delusional.
A lot of the time, they know what they're
A
doing.
lot of the time, they do it for a very specific reason,
there's
and they
a lot of
have.
under the table stuff.
And you have to imagine, like, they have to have the heart to make
Josh
that kind
Hart?
of decision. Yep.
Ah.
He's getting there.
Ah,
getting
Hasn't watched a single game
give me
yet, but getting
time.
there.
Put me in, coach. All right.
Not yet.
all right.
No,
Ah.
you're right bench right now
Yeah.
for basketball.
All right, get
Nah.
real serious for a second because we got to
Rest
talk
in
about
peace.
Dikembe Mutombo passed away at the age of 58. He had cancer, tumor in his brain. One of
Terrible.
the greatest defensive big men of all time, the guy who basically made the shot block famous almost. The no, the finger wag, you know.
Not in my house.
Not
Have you
in
ever
my
seen
house.
the
Cold Cuts commercial.
no.
Oh.
Can't believe it's in a lot of commercials.
No,
I
I
was
was talking
sworn
about
he was in a Cold Cuts
the
commercial.
Geico commercial.
Yeah.
They're all like shooting baskets, and he goes,
Oh yeah.
"Not in my house."
Oh, what a shame.
I
But
saw
yeah.
it this morning on
I
my
love
Twitter.
that commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah, rest in
That's
peace
so-
to him.
that-
What a
yeah.
legend. Nuggets legend, Knicks legend, Philadelphia legend. But
just
anyways,
legend. Period.
moving
Legend.
on.
That's a big dog right there. Can we get a
Huge
clap?
dog, big clap. Rough.
Rough.
Oh yeah, I should have
Anyways.
said, "Can we get a rough?" My fault. My fault, gangsters.
Moving on to the world of football.
Yeah. Sorry.
Here's the third weekly installment of the Big Dog of the Week.
Big
Very
dog. No,
That's more of a
not
bow
yet.
wow.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Sorry.
That's for the dog
Anyways,
pound.
now that Jack messed it up, Sydney, would you like to announce who the Big Dog of the Week is?
So keep in mind,
We
when-
just talked about this too.
when we
It's not
were
Derrick
talking
Henry.
about Big Dog of the Week, we kind of forgot that the Bills game happened.
Yeah.
So it probably should have been Derrick Henry this week, but we completely forgot that man
He will-
existed.
He'll have another game. This is the
Oh,
thing.
he absolutely
He's
will.
gonna have another game.
So that's
got me a lot
our
of points.
fault this week.
That's our bad guys.
That's we're in the dog pound.
I'm
this
not-
week.
I'm
honestly,
mad.
Yeah, it really is your guys'
I'm
bad.
not mad at our pick though, because I will say this. Derrick Henry in the game proved that he's going to be a prominent part of this offense when they do things right. He's going to have another game. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll have an even better game against a different team. However, the big dog of this week,
Hey, I was told to
oh
announce
no.
it.
I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
stay in bounds here. I'm gonna stay in bounds.
Oh,
Yeah. Stay in bounds like basketball. All right. Well,
It's in every sport.
our-
We're gonna like okay.
whatever.
Yeah, Jack.
I'm trying.
I appreciate it.
However, the big dog of this week, I think it's more impressive because this offense, although very exciting, there's a lot of competition for this player individually. He had another big name who I don't really like, but you know, he's not a bad player. He had a lot of competition to deal with. So for him to have the game he had, and I feel like he's been a consistent game, player for the past couple of weeks. It's really big for him. Now I'm going to pass the torch. There you go.
thanks.
Like I said.
How sweet of you.
So big dog of the week is. Can I get a rough? Nico Collins.
Let's go.
Nico
He had
Collins.
12 receptions for 151 yards, 1 touchdown, And he got me 33.1 fantasy points this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I have him in my other fantasy league, so I'm not really mad.
Yeah. Also, you weren't playing me this week, so it really didn't affect
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So
This,
it's
this
all right.
week, this week is when you don't want him
Yeah,
to do
this
good.
this is gonna be a rough week for me, but
Oh,
I will say,
Jack, are you
think-
scared to play me in fantasy?
A little bit.
Undefeated, man. Like I thought I had it in the bag.
We didn't get there yet.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about our first week, our first matchup.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-oh. Dog's first fight on air. Oh no.
I feel like we
You guys
definitely
were
fought
literally
on there.
just arguing.
Yeah, that's different. That's just what we do.
Yeah, we're guys being bros.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? So it's because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
so
Oh, that's wild.
Point at the
That's
camera.
wild. Well, yeah, we support women, but I will say Nico Collins. Do I think he's gonna have this kind of game again? I don't know. Houston, I'm gonna be honest, has been a little weird to me. They've had games where I expected them to be locked in and very dominant. I don't really get that sense from them. I know CJ Stroud is a big part of that, but to me, the threat has always been in Nico Collins and CJ Stroud. I know they have Tank Dell. He's great. Give him a little bit more time, he'll be even better. I know Stephon Diggs is a new, game changer on that team, but
Boo.
in my own opinion, he
Sorry.
is not that wide receiver one anymore that he used to be. But Nico Collins, I really think, has stepped up to be a top wide receiver in the league. Is that crazy to say? I don't know. I
I mean, 151 yards.
That's not yeah, and it's consistent too. He makes good catches.
Especially with how many receivers they have in their core.
Yeah.
151 yards is crazy.
pretty big deal.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. But good for him. Good for him being big dog.
Do you want to say the honorable mention?
Oh yeah, honorable
Oh.
mention
I'll
this
pass
week.
the torch back.
Honorable mention was also not Derrick Henry.
Once again, we forgot the man existed.
Yeah, well,
Out of
he'll be a big dog eventually. I'm sure of it. But our honorable
As long as he doesn't
mention,
play the Bills.
our honorable mention was Baker Mayfield. He had 347 yards, 2 throwing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown, which is crazy because Baker to me is not a runner.
I'm pretty sure all of those were first half too.
Yeah, but you know what? Good for Baker.
Against Eagles, right? They played the Eagles?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, to me, Baker Mayfield is another quarterback on a giant list of quarterbacks who have not been treated properly within the league, especially
Oh,
earlier
absolutely.
on. Don't get me wrong, he had some good steam coming out of college, but seeing what he went through with the Panthers, he was on the Rams for about 5 minutes. Good for him. I mean, especially at the end of last
5 minutes
season.
is crazy.
I mean, he really was on it
felt
for
like-
5 minutes, but for him to...
How would you know what it felt like?
Well, I would just say I think Baker Mayfield, I think he's going to have a good solid season. Will he be big dog? Will he finally make it? Maybe.
I think that's why we gave him the honorable mention because he's had some really good games.
Yeah.
And we just,
He's just got to have that one game where it's just perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's got to be exciting. And with Nico Collins, I feel like I got more of that. Don't get me wrong, Derrick Henry had an amazing game, but also like you kind of expect that from Derrick Henry at this point at least. So
I'm not even going to lie. I completely forgot about Derrick Henry. I
okay.
tried to immediately forget that game ever happened.
I mean,
Yeah.
he did good, but I will say it was a bit of a mix of he did great. He was on a team that needed it, and they played a team that I don't think
I mean, we're gonna talk about it
fully
later.
prepped for it. But we'll get more into that. But
yeah, so good to bad. Dog of the week. When a dog's not so good, we go to the dog pound.
Yeah. There we go, Jack.
thanks, guys.
Love that
Thanks
for you, Jack.
Thanks for coming
Anyways.
with us.
Come on, Jack.
Yeah, dog pound player of the week. We have Will Levis, who
The man has had an insane run of just unforgettable pictures on Twitter.
I almost feel like it's like a corporate stunt. Like
It
almost
has
like,
to be like, he has to be on like Impractical Jokers, and they're like in his ear telling him, "Okay, now jump in the air and throw the ball backwards."
Yeah. It's just, and here's the thing, like last season, like don't get me wrong, he wasn't the coolest quarterback in the world, but I thought he was pretty good.
He got games.
He was pretty solid. And there was one mistake he made last season where he threw an interception, ran down the field, trucked the defensive player who caught it, and caught the ball off the fumble. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to go places. I don't know what is going on. And the way he poses too, there's no way that's an accident. That is
You
the
want
most
to know
dramatic.
what I think it might be? Them getting rid of Mike Vrabel.
Maybe.
I really don't think they should have done that.
I remember that out of all the coaches not returning, coaches going to a different team, that was the one that was very odd to me because I don't think he did a bad job with what he had. Yeah, he had Derrick Henry, and that was pretty much like when he played the Titans, you game plan against the run. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I
it was
like Mike
just-
Vrabel.
I think he's great. I think maybe they just got impatient, but at the same time, with every team, young quarterback, you lose your biggest weapon. You kind of got to have patience. And I don't know if that was really there for him. I think it was a little unfair. But Will Levis, dog pound. This is a player, however, I'm not sure if he's going to make it out. I
really don't know.
And I'll say this, every player who was in the dog pound last week, maybe not Tyreek or Achan, they played all right, but
Yeah. Still not double digits in fantasy points for Tyreek.
but most of them started making their way out.
Yeah.
Most of especially Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
But Will Levis, I mean,
I don't know how far he's going to get out.
yeah, I mean, we might have a bit of a Bryce Young situation. I don't think it's that bad. I think he can still play solid football. I think him and his head coach have to figure it out. They just got to. But yeah, that's it for Dog Pound of the week. But now we're gonna get into our next segment, which
Fantasy.
I'm not really stoked about, which is our fantasy
might be
league
the
that
only
we
loser
started.
here.
Jose, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I'd like to go last. I had the most points.
Oh, okay. All right. So it begins.
It's massive Noah football.
So this week I played, me as in Captain Jack on fantasy. I played Massive Nowhere Football, which is Jose. And I only put up 105 points. Jose got 142 points.
Dang.
Yeah, not fun.
Demolished.
Part of the problem was I had Zay Flowers on my team, on my starting lineup, who got me 2 points as my flex, where your flex was Malik Neighbors, who got 23.1 points. Malik Neighbors is a stud. And Kyler Murray did not get me good points. I really thought I had you with that.
I thought my week was over after the Jets game.
Oh, yeah, that was, and let me tell you something. That game, we're going to get into it, but I had so much confidence playing you this week. And
Yeah.
I almost feel like I don't think I talk smack. I usually don't. I usually don't talk smack. And I don't think
do.
I did.
I do.
But
does.
I do feel like I owe you an apology because mentally I was like, Jose, come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's the thing with fantasy. It was tough. After I feel like it was like 50-50 down the wire. I was looking at my players. I was like,
This
look
is
at
all
last
pity
week.
they were throwing my way.
I was thinking, all right, Sid beat me because the Bills absolutely destroyed.
They popped off that game.
And I'm like, okay, so I think I have a pretty decent team. Neighbors was on my bench last week, so
That's crazy.
That's honestly, that's really what helped him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
I have neighbors in my other league. Malik Neighbors, to me,
huge. Giants can't get a touchdown to
playmaker.
save their life, but huge.
huge to me. And again, this is a hot take, but we give hot takes here at Dogs in the House. Malik Neighbors possibly kind of filling, the void of a bit of a Justin Jefferson type player here. He's on the Giants. They got rid of Barkley. They don't really have a weapon. And unfortunately, I don't think we see a lot of teams where they have like that star wide receiver. Malik Neighbors, to me, if you're a Giants fan, you're eating.
I really don't think that's that much of a hot take.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
feel
so
like
either. I
most
feel like a lot of
people
people are
think
saying
that.
I mean, the thing is, though, he is a rookie. So the
Which
question
is exactly why I
is-
think it's not that hot. If he's doing this well
Interesting.
as a rookie already,
with Daniel
Yeah.
Jones, too.
exactly. Imagine what he could do with a good quarterback, and B, experience.
That's true.
He's making grown man catches already.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I will say this for a rookie wide receiver, he's not very flashy off the field, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I
He's
feel like
not.
you see that a lot, and wide receivers are usually the most dramatic players. He is very serious.
Yeah.
He's very locked in. So, Giants, you got a good one.
Is he the one in that one video where if the
Interesting.
coach was asking, how do you deal with losing? and the kid says, I hate losing more than I like winning. Was that Malik Neighbors? Do you know what video I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna say I don't know, because if it isn't Malik Neighbors,
You're gonna look dumb.
yeah, I'm gonna look dumb. So, but I'm
I
pretty
just
sure you're right.
Don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you're right. But
Safe answer.
with that said, Malik Neighbors, great pick for you, Jose. Good
Yeah.
job.
And Derrick
putting him
Henry,
in.
35 points. Almost.
Yeah.
That'll also
yeah,
do it. you know.
Whatever.
Anyway, Sydney,
whatever.
how are you and the football expertise Fernando Gomez matchup?
Yeah, I think his name is the Beverages.
It
Beverages,
is.
yeah.
Just because he found the logo.
Love that.
He also has
Funny
a team
names.
of people who he just liked their name.
Funny name,
so,
man, yeah.
Yeah.
I beat
She got
Fernando.
nervous.
I did.
Mm.
I got very nervous
Did you?
yesterday because Tyreek wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, Tyreek.
And he had
yeah.
Jameer Gibbs going yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
I mean, she only won by 7 points.
I did.
Interesting.
And that's with the entire crash out of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that was rough.
No.
So
Mind
do you
you-
have any Bills starting players? Like, are you starting Kincaid? I mean, you have.
No, I don't have any receiving core on my team.
Really? You just Joshua Patrick?
Yeah, and their
Gotcha.
defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sucks too is like their defense. I usually will give them credit because Sean McDermott to me is a defense first coach in my mind. It's odd to see them having a team where their defense is the weak point. I feel like I would have never seen that. Don't get me wrong. It's a younger defense and you have new people emerging as leaders and you have other leaders hurt like Matt Milano. But I don't know about Bills defense, if I'm being honest. I feel like week 1 against the Cardinals, we saw a bit of that, but we'll see.
Looking at Fernando, I think he just digs himself a grave because he had Kenneth Walker on the bench who had 33.6
Yeah,
points.
Kenneth Walker had a great week this week. Seahawks honestly have been doing pretty good too.
Yeah.
I thought I have my own opinions about Geno Smith. I think he's like an all right quarterback at best, but I honestly think the Seahawks have been playing really good football. Is that a hot take? I don't think so.
Can't
Did
really
you say
discuss that.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
not
think they're
that.
playing pretty good. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I still think you start Sam Howell over Geno Smith, you might see a bit of a difference, but that's just me.
But going into like my team,
Yeah.
I really got saved by Nico Collins having a good week this
Yeah.
week. Travis Kelce bounced back. He
Yeah, he
had
had a-
15.9.
Yeah, he did good this week.
He's
back.
He had 7 receptions, 89 yards. I mean, Buffalo's defense got me -3.
Yeah, I was. Ugh.
Tyreek Hill,
Rough.
8.2.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, 7.3.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I feel like also going against week 2 for the Bills, their points were all in James Cook. He didn't have a lot of points from Josh. But
Yeah.
it's so weird because then you could have another week where Josh is getting you like somewhere in the high 20s, 30s. Like it's very on and off.
Also, Alvin Kamara had better points this week than last week.
I did see that.
24.9.
I did see that.
77 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't really know. The Saints have kind of mellowed out, it seems.
But no, for Fernando, his kicker had 20 points.
Who was his kicker?
Koo.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
First name funny.
And then Jameer Gibbs, he went off for 19.8. I got scared because he needed like 20 to beat me at the point when I was looking. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he hasn't averaged above 20 yet. Like, he hasn't gotten 20 yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Andrews hurt him because 0 again.
Yeah.
Um,
Tight ends.
Kyron William for him had
Mm.
20.4. So he had some people go off this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's true what they say. Any given Sunday, you never know what player will step up and what player
He
won't.
really had Kenneth Walker on his bench.
Yeah.
that's so
33.6.
That hurts to
Honestly,
see.
I had that in the beginning of the season. I had Jaden Reed as my first like bench player. Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers. That first week, Jordan Love basically made Jaden Reed his wide receiver number 1, like star wide receiver potential. He had great points, and I had him on my bench.
He had Dontavian Wicks on his bench,
feeling
and he
good.
had 24.8.
Wow.
He would've won.
21.9
Easily.
from Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. actually had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
So
Good for
I'm
him.
just lucky that Fernando doesn't know football.
Yeah, well, it's good that he only likes the names and he doesn't,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, he organizes his lineup based on the names.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, I won, so I am
That's
now leading the league.
are you undefeated?
2-0.
I am.
2-0.
I think I am.
You
1
both
and
are 1 and 1.
Yeah, we're both 1-1.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're the middle of the pack.
And Fernando is
yeah.
0 for 2.
0 for 2.
Donut.
All
But
right.
yeah, I'm winning.
Good
Let's
for
go.
you.
So far.
Let's
It's
go.
only been 2 weeks.
Going from a positive
The pit bull.
to an awful negative. I'm gonna look in the camera right here.
Here we
For those
go.
of you who do not know,
Unfortunately, we do have
for those
to
who
talk
do not know,
about it.
we're gonna do a little coverage of this past week and some football games that we felt were somewhat important to talk about. One of our jobs here at Dog in the House is to cover what we see as viewers and give our opinion.
Bro, get to the point.
Relax.
He just doesn't understand. The Buffalo Bills played the
God,
Baltimore
yeah.
Ravens.
Bro, come on. It's like
this-
our
Yeah,
entire
you
personality.
guys have been treating it like a funeral.
It is.
It was. I mean, last week, I don't know if we'll have the video up, but I had a really funny skit. Everybody laughed, and it was so funny.
Yeah.
well,
Thanks,
look
Jose,
at
for that
Jose. Yeah.
forced laughter. But the Bills, I don't know what happened, man. The Bills.
It's just one of those games. They
Yeah.
have at least one or Jose just almost knocked over the
Why is the
light
mic all the way up there?
Oh.
Can you bring it down?
because Fernando put it up there before they left.
Interesting. Well,
What was
continue.
I saying?
One of those games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Bills have one or two of those games every year. Last year Broncos game.
Oh, that was terrible. That was
The year before
awful.
that, the Jaguars game where it was like 9-6.
Honestly, I was expecting it.
I thought it was going to be the Jaguars game.
Yeah.
And I'm happy it wasn't. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's at least like a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, I watched up until the third quarter.
I didn't.
Yeah.
To
Jose
me,
was there.
We
I
were
was
having a little watch party.
And this
is the thing.
It did not go well.
I
It did
saw
not.
how
Things were
rough
broken.
things were going defensively for us.
what was broken?
Everything was broke. Her heart.
Oh,
yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was a rough game. It was a rough game. But I will say this. The defense didn't look great. I don't think that was a shocker. I think even in the Arizona game, which we ended up winning, our defense was still the weak spot of our team, which I think everybody's expecting. Offensively, it was going to be weak
I'm
because...
sorry, the offensive line looked terrible.
Oh, yeah. It was rough.
Like he
That's not
would
even funny.
get the ball and immediately there was 2 or 3 defenders on him.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I also thought, like, defensively, what we should have done was exploit their offensive line because I don't feel like their offensive line has
And
been
they
great.
didn't at all.
And I don't know what happened defensively. I can't say anybody really stepped up.
I will say I had 1 point of joy in that game.
Was it the 52?
Yes,
Yeah, that
to
was a great.
Shakir.
That was a great play. And I will say this: I'm really enjoying Josh Allen connection to Khalil Shakir. I went into this season being like, okay, it's all about the run game. James Cook is going to be the main weapon, and I can't wait to see Dalton Kincaid have a crazy second season. And I knew Shakir was great, but I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. He was wide receiver
He's so
3.
reliable though.
He was so good last season for the moments that he was utilized. And I was like, but we'll see. He's wide receiver 3. You never know. That has been the most enjoyable part of this offense to me is seeing Khalil Shakir. I mean, he also, I will say a positive in that game besides that play was Khalil Shakir broke a record. I think he has the most consecutive catches made.
Yes. That
Fan-
graphic was fire on their Instagram. You
Yeah,
saw it?
good for him. He deserves it. I feel like, yes, it's going to take some time for people to take him seriously as a threat. And he's not a crazy, flashy wide receiver, but he's a solid Buffalo Bills football playing wide receiver.
I also think that they got Dalton Kincaid more involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like immediately he was already involved a lot more.
I think week by week too, because against Jacksonville too, I was like, okay,
it was
Kincaid's
very slightly there, but it
not
was
nearly as much.
a lot more prominent in Monday night's game.
Yeah.
Or not Sunday night's
Yeah,
game.
and honestly, I think as the season progresses, you need to establish your weapons. For Joe Brady, obviously, I think the biggest thing he did last season was establish James Cook in the run game as a weapon. I think it took a lot of weight off of Josh. Now I think teams are like, okay, we need a plan for James Cook. He's a good running back. He makes some mistakes, but he's good.
He's still young. So.
And Kincaid did great last season too. But I think some people are like, he's a weapon, but we'll see.
Still young.
But I really think Joe Brady has spent a good amount of time making sure that the wide receiver room is taken seriously.
Yes.
Because I remember the second Gabe Davis was gone and Stephon Diggs was gone.
Everybody's like, oh,
Everybody
where is it?
clowned us.
Where
Everybody's
is it?
like, okay, you have Khalil Shakir as your wide receiver 1.
Okay, I'll take that.
I was actually really happy
So
about
was
that.
I.
And a lot of people are like, oh, Curtis Samuel, number 1. I'm like, no, make Khalil number 1. Just make him number 1. But after this game, I will say this. Joe Brady, for what it's worth, he had some bad calls. He acknowledged it and he said, yeah, it was a bad call. I don't know why I called that.
And they were gaining momentum, too.
Yeah, but I will say this. Big plays in games have huge reward when they're done right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. When you see them pay off, it's great. It's the same reason you see the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, they threw the ball. It was a shocker because, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going to run the ball.
Would have been safe to give it to Marshawn Lynch, but they didn't because they're like, oh, if this works, people are going to go crazy.
And it'll be remembered for years.
And it didn't work, and that happens.
It's still remembered for years.
I mean, that's remembered for years. I think Joe Brady, this is good for him. He is going to bounce back.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
Breaking news.
Whoa,
Kansas
first
City
time.
Royals took game 1 of best of 3 against the Orioles
Wow.
in Baltimore.
Huge.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Bobby Witt MVP.
Wow.
Sorry.
I mean, that's what we do here. We cover sports.
Yeah,
That's
live.
awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Let's go, Kansas City.
Wow. That's the only time you're ever going to hear Sydney say that. Kansas City.
It's the Royals. That's my family's team.
Let's go, Kansas City.
Royals. Let's go
Okay.
Royals. Is
There
that
we
better?
go. There we go.
Go Royals.
Crazy.
Sorry.
Let's go, Kansas
It
City.
was 1-0.
All right. But that's sick, though. That is pretty cool.
And it was an away game. Oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
Oh,
Nice.
That's sick. Well, moving on from the Bills and Ravens game, I will say this for the Ravens. Good for them. They're bouncing back. That's what they needed to do. They needed that win against us, and they got it.
Yeah.
They did. They established
It
Derrick
was their
Henry.
time.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
needed that game. They wanted it more. They proved it. I can't take that away from them. Going into our next game, we have the Commanders versus the Cardinals.
Yo, Jaden Daniels is a dog.
He is balling out. My dad is on cloud 9 right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that division because you have the Commanders competing against the Eagles and the Giants and the Cowboys. I mean, it's very easy to overlook them. Jaden Daniels is a beast. He is by far, just get rid of the rookie quarterbacks. I think he is possibly the best rookie player we have seen in the league. He's playing great to go on a team like the Commanders where I don't think it was.
Aren't they in like the lead for NFC
I think they're
East?
leading the NFC East right now, which is
Whoa,
crazy because you have
huge.
a league with Dak
Uh-huh.
and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they are
And-
leading because
and,
aren't
you know,
they?
you have-
Wait, are they 3-? No, they're not 3-1.
No, they lost.
They lost the first week, and then they
Lost
beat.
first week.
No, they are 3-1 because they beat the Giants, and then they beat the Bengals, and then
They
they, won
bounced
this
back
week.
since. Yeah,
They are
So
indeed
they are
3-1,
3-1.
Yeah.
So they have to be at number 1.
crazy. And I will say this: like the Bengals, I think is a
Commanders.
shocking
That's
win.
crazy.
Shocking
Yeah.
win against
Cowboys
the Bengals.
2-2, Eagles 2-2.
But to have a dominant win against the Cardinals, who up until this point I would have said is a dark
They
horse.
looked good.
Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray work. Like
They
It's
do.
It's definitely not like the Cardinals are going to be going away after this.
Bro, I'm
But-
not gonna lie. Rookie of the Year race this year is gonna be hard
Yeah,
because you've got Jaden Daniels, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors.
yeah, and you also have to think about
all
the
of them are
situation.
popping
Though.
off right now.
I will say this: Marvin Harrison Jr. is great. I would eliminate him though because he also has Kyler Murray, who I think is a top quarterback.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, but he also has
Malik
to get like the separation.
that is true.
You got to give him like
But you also have Malik Neighbors, who is playing for the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't think I have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
elaborate on that. But Jaden Daniels to be on the Commanders, a team that, unfortunately, this might be a little rude, but has kind of been
Awful.
treated like a joke.
Yeah.
And it's not even that they're so bad; it's that they're so meh. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I will say go Jaden Daniels. I hope it continues. I'd love to see the Commanders in my lifetime be considered a good football team. And I think it's giving a lot of hope to a fan base that has been, I don't know, evaporated by disappointment for years. So good,
Yeah.
good for him. Good for
go.
him. The Cardinals, I
Goes
don't know.
hard.
I think they'll bounce back, but
I feel like they're gonna be somewhere around like a 500 team this year.
yeah, I mean, I think similar to the Bills, they just had a weird game.
Yeah.
They did. They had a weird game and it just didn't work. It happens.
I'm not gonna lie. The past 2 weeks have been like or not this past week, but like the 2 weeks previous, were like weird with what teams were losing and stuff like that. I think it was
Yeah.
just the Bills' time.
I mean, even I always say this: if a team is going undefeated, that first that first loss can break a team. It really can. Because if
Yeah.
you go too far into the season thinking that you're all of that,
especially as a young team.
yeah, your postseason's probably not going to be great. That's all I have to say.
You've got to get that hard loss out of the way.
Yeah.
And that loss actually broke a streak too, because the Bills went like a few. I don't know what the stat is, but
Yeah.
they hadn't lost a game by 6
Oh,
points
yeah, I saw
or
that.
more in how many
that's insane.
weeks?
Really long time. Yeah.
I think the
insane.
last time was what 2022.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a stat. Go Bills. Go Bills.
Go
Kind of
Bills.
fans. Yeah.
Our roaring
so-
fans outside of the station.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, oh,
We got a fan woofing.
oh!
Oh.
Whoa, whoa,
A
whoa.
fan.
We've been
Oh my
invaded.
gosh.
We have a
Whoa.
fan.
Mad Dog says woof.
Whoa!
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, you can't hear it, but the
Wow.
crowd is going crazy outside. Whoa.
All of our
Whoa.
fans and Pitbull.
Whoa.
Pipple's
Pipple's
back.
That's insane.
Pitbull.
Pitbull. Dale. Anyways, from happy moments
Wow.
to even happier moments.
That's insane. That's
Are we
absolutely
done with
crazy.
Commanders versus
Yeah,
Cardinals?
let's talk
Yeah,
about the
we'll
teams
move
that
on.
are. Let's talk about the teams that are allergic to getting touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Can we just talk about the
crazy.
fact that Aaron Rodgers and the Jets lost to Bo Nix and
That's
the Broncos
insane. I'm
10
loving
to
it, though.
9.
Broncos country. Let's,
Let's
ride.
ride.
Let's ride.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Mad Dog.
Am I supposed to say let's ride? Oh, let's ride.
That was a little
Ah,
coarse,
that was-
but nice. It's fantastic. But
We because that one's not working.
always great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Yeah, security.
Yeah, get her out. She's not one of the dogs.
You cannot question how we do things.
Yeah.
It's just how we do it.
The dogs are in the house.
Yeah, I'm Mad Dog,
No,
and I'm in the house.
no.
Anyway, the Jets, man. How about the Jets? The Jets lost
Jets
to
suck.
Bo Nix.
Dude.
I am enjoying it. And
I love every second that all of the AFC East teams lose.
yeah, well, you know what
Yeah.
the thing is too? I feel like so many fan bases, especially in the AFC alone, are so passionate about their team and are so extreme about their team going all the way. I could say that about Dolphins fans, but Jets
my God,
fans
they
take it
suck.
to a different level. and
Especially
it's-
when they suck every year.
Yeah, here's the thing.
It's
You
sad.
got Aaron Rodgers. That's not a bad move. Aaron Rodgers
If
is
he
a
was,
good
like,
quarterback.
30.
But you're not getting Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. You're
Yeah.
getting Aaron Rodgers getting fined during training camp because he's in, I don't know, Egypt
He
or
wasn't
something.
even there for most of the time,
Yeah,
wasn't
and you want to tell me he's winning you 2 Super Bowls? Think again. They lost. If the Bills got punched in the mouth, they got hit in the face by a
They got
baseball
curb
bat.
stomped.
They got
he? They got curb stomped.
destroyed.
It's crazy.
Even though it was a close game, the fact that you want to consider yourself a top offense and you can't I don't even
Not one.
know.
I saw a tweet that said that they were honoring Zach Wilson's return by not having any offense.
Yeah, that's insane. That's ridiculous. I mean,
Love that.
just overall very weird game to see, but we love to see it. Honestly, I will say this, good for Bo Nix, but also I don't like
Yeah,
Sean
that's
Payton.
2 wins in a row now,
Yeah.
right?
So
they
he
did
had-
win last week?
Yes.
Okay,
two,
yeah.
two.
Yes. So he at least has 2. He can
Let's
stop now.
go.
He can stop.
That's it.
Yeah,
Worry
that's
about
it.
the pick.
But all right, I guess
We still have like 20 minutes left.
yeah. Well, this next thing I want to talk about, we don't have it written down.
Oh,
We're
right,
thinking on
right.
the fly
Right.
here. So we actually have 2 breaking stories in the NFL, but we're gonna focus on one of them because I think this has huge upside potential for a lot of teams out there. There's a lot of teams that could really use this. If you're a team in the NFL, you should be listening to us right now.
Specifically the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, if you hear this, call me.
I mean, really any team that needs a wide receiver, but Devontae Adams,
Yes.
as of today, actually a couple moments ago, has made it known that he wants to be traded. He hasn't specified any type of location, but he has made it known to the Raiders that he wants to be somewhere else. I do believe that they were saying that they were thinking they'd trade him for
Second round
second round pick. Okay, sure.
I think he's worth that. Not for our team,
No.
but like for some teams, I think
For
he's worth the second round pick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really depends on what team he goes on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, he's in no way a bad wide receiver.
The thing about it is, I fully expected that to happen because I don't know if you remember this, but they had a Netflix series come
yeah,
out
I
called
saw
Wide
it.
Receivers.
Yep.
And he would go on there, and they got video of him talking about how
Jimmy G.
Yeah, he would like.
I don't blame him,
I'm,
Jimmy G.
I'm putting myself in
mean,
danger. Like I'm getting like rocked out there or something like that. I didn't end up watching it. I just remember vaguely clips.
I remember that clip too, and
So like you had to expect it. Like yes, I know it's
Yeah.
not Jimmy Garoppolo throwing anymore, but
yeah,
As someone
Who is
that's
it?
like not too well versed in the world of football, is it this common that a player will request a trade during the season?
I don't think during season.
I want to say yes,
that's, like,
but
unheard of.
also yes and no. Like most of the time, teams like
basketball terms.
here's a good example. Like you have somebody like Stephon Diggs,
Yeah.
right? As a Bills fan, there's always like a little bit of an understanding. Like he was a little bit of a rocky player. You don't really know if he wants to be there. You don't really know if he absolutely hates your team or loves
Because like
your team.
his actions are saying one thing, but
But the
he's
tweets
saying the another
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving in Boston. Yeah.
So even though no trade happened during the season, I could have told you last season.
It was close to
It
being
was
over.
close to being over. I didn't think it was going to happen right then.
I didn't
but
either.
I could have told you, yeah, I would say he has a season left
Mm-hmm.
because I thought they found a run game. They have new weapons, all that. Devontae Adams is on the Raiders. If
They
you were to
have
tell me
nothing.
the strongest player on the Raiders, I would probably tell you Max Crosby.
Yeah.
And because the Raiders, I think similar to Bills and similar to Steelers, I think are stronger in that their coaches are a little bit more defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams, I don't blame him. He has Gardner Minshew as his
I was just about to say,
quarterback.
who is even throwing right now?
Like
I think it was partially him and Aiden O'Connell this past weekend.
yeah, like the Raiders are going through a rough patch. I think the Raiders have a lot of work to do, and I do hope Devontae gets out and he goes to a good team. With that said, though,
Because like also, let's be honest, how many times have you heard Devontae Adams' name like as a top 5 receiver in the past 2-3 years?
maybe in fantasy stats, but that's really it.
And then think about before he got to Las Vegas.
Oh,
Think about how often he was
yeah.
talked about. Oh, who are your top 5 receivers in the league? Oh, Devontae Adams, number 1. Oh,
Yeah.
this and that, this and that.
I think.
You don't even hear that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, though. It happens, I think, especially with wide receivers because they get the ball rolling. Sometimes they go to that second location. It doesn't work. It happened with
Because
Tyreek
they
Hill.
want money.
Tyreek Hill, don't get me wrong, he's still 100% a top wide receiver. He was on the Chiefs. Everybody's like, this guy's great.
Yep.
He's on the Dolphins. He's not a bad player, but I don't know if I would say that he is.
It's because they don't want to compete with the quarterback's contract.
Yeah,
So they go from a high-playing quarterback who's
Yeah.
getting money,
yeah,
making a lot of like stats for themselves, making a name for themselves. They want that money. The team's not going to give it to them because their quarterback is
Yeah.
really where they want it to have it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then they go to a separate team with a lesser known quarterback.
yeah.
They get their money, but you're not
Yeah.
getting the same productivity.
To answer your question, yeah, it's weird to see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as common, but given the circumstances, I think the Raiders and Devontae Adams both need this to go down the right way. Devontae Adams, I think, really needs a career resurgence, and he needs that in a new team. I know a lot of people are saying maybe he can go the Kansas City route. I don't think that's going to happen. I can see him going to a team like the Chargers.
I mean, they did just lose Rashid Rice.
Yeah.
They could be looking
Because
for
Patrick
something like
Mahomes
that.
took him out. Real
Yeah.
smart move there. But
They could be looking for something
they
like
could
that.
be looking for
But
something.
I think it all depends on if he'll take that pay cut. Because they're already paying Chris Jones, Patrick
And they
Mahomes,
are-
and Travis Kelce.
well, they also, I will say this too, they also made the move of bringing back Juju Smith-Schuster.
yeah.
And that's already like a bit of an older wide receiver. It's kind of like your friend's old dog, and it's like, hey, look at this guy, what a good boy, you
He
know?
used to do some pretty cool tricks.
Yeah, I remember back when he could do that. Oh, he's tired now. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
kind of.
I got it.
That's kind of where Devontae is. I will say this though, put him on the right team, right circumstances, I think he could still have great momentum, a lot better momentum than I think he has right now. But the question is too, and I said this with Stephon Diggs, you have to be ready to go to a team where you're not number one anymore.
Yeah.
On the Raiders, he's pretty much all they got offensively. Stephon Diggs left at a time where he wasn't all they needed. He's now on Houston. Again, take it or leave it. I don't think he's very happy that Nico Collins and Tank Dell are on that team. I think he wants to be wide receiver number one. I think
But it looked new. It looked fancy.
It looked fancy and
better
new.
than what he had.
But you have to understand that also chemistry is a big thing that pulls into this. And I think Devontae Adams, at this point in his career, it's not a bad move, but wherever he goes, he kind of has to stay put.
Yeah.
And he needs to get used to who he has. With that said, I mean, you guys have any specific teams you'd like to see him go to? I know for me, certain teams that could use a big wide receiver. I mean, I always say this.
I liked that Chargers pick.
I like
Yeah, that was
Chargers.
pretty good.
I think Justin Herbert
I love Justin
is
Herbert.
a great quarterback. They have a amazing new head coach. I've seen a lot of IG posts.
I don't want to
think,
call him amazing.
I think
I'm an Ohio State fan.
Okay, that's fair.
He was the Michigan head
But
coach.
in those given circumstances for that team and what they need, it's pretty amazing that they have.
You
him,
can say
but
it. I just won't agree
It's
with
fair.
you right now because I can't.
It's fair.
Like
it's fair.
it's like those rivalry things. I physically can't
I got
say.
you.
Yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. It's fair.
OH baby.
But I think if you weren't to be on the Chargers, I don't know. I can maybe see him maybe going to the Giants. I know that's a bit of a hot take too. They have
Really?
Malik-
Wow.
Well, here's the thing. Certain teams offensively, you either focus on having a somewhat good running back and a somewhat good wide receiver core, or you go all in on one.
Yeah.
And you're like, we need really good wide receivers. A running back is whoever's around, and we'll take the money. I think the Giants, you have Malik Neighbors. That's your number one. You build them up. I don't know what you're doing with your quarterback situation. Hopefully the draft is helping you out this year. You can get somebody like Devontae Adams, a bit of an older wide receiver, take that pressure off of Malik Neighbors as a weapon. That could really help your team out too. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I mean, it's all about the contract and it's all about the timing. But for him, I think he should be very careful about the team he goes to, because you don't want to go to a hot, new, flashy team that has too many new weapons emerging where
Because
you're
then
just
they're gonna have to start paying everybody.
yeah, and eventually that team's gonna be like, you know what, Devontae wasn't the right move. See ya. You know, I think that's the same thing that could happen with Stephon Diggs. He's on a 1 year deal. It's paid out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're gonna be needing him after this season, and
No.
it's early, so we'll see what happens with him. Yeah.
With the 9 minutes left, I have a little small segment we could do.
Oh.
We
Go ahead.
started
Have
with
fun.
WNBA. We can end with WNBA. It is playoffs right now.
Oh, sick.
So
okay.
I want you
Let's hear
guys
it.
to
I could add input.
make your picks because there's only 2 games left until the final.
Okay.
So it's Liberty Aces and Minnesota and Connecticut.
Okay.
So who do you think will win the Liberty Aces matchup?
The Aces have had the Liberty's number the past couple seasons, but Liberty took game 1.
It's best of 5 right now, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Liberty beating the Aces and finally getting that victory over them that they've so desperately wanted for the last couple of seasons.
In how many games?
I go Liberty
Liberty Bibbidi.
Liberty in
Sorry.
4.
Liberty 4?
Liberty in 4.
Liberty 4. Okay.
What about you, Jack?
I
I know you don't know much about it, but
Well,
you
I
can make
will-
a pick.
I will say this with absolute certainty and complete confidence. I'm gonna go with Liberty. I will say
Okay.
this: I was in the gym the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I know that we're branching into areas that I'm not very well known in,
Were
but
you watching a basketball
I
game?
was watching a Liberty game.
Stop, you
I
care?
will say that.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
But the only reason I watched it was I was like, okay, with any sport that maybe I don't know the most about, I'm like, okay, what's the New York team? Can I root for the home team? And I was watching and I was like, you know what? Maybe I will.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Cool
proud of
colors
you.
too.
I'm so proud
know?
of you.
So I'm gonna take
Say
Liberty.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
But I will say this: I have no knowledge in any of this, but
Liberty's
we're
a
gonna,
good pick.
We're gonna go with
Yeah.
Liberty.
Also-
And how many games? It's a best of 5 series.
Best of 5.
3.
I'm gonna be safe and give them 3.
Oh,
Wow.
Safe and give them
Sweep?
3.
a sweep?
Yeah, I think so. Why not? You know what? Let's go. Let's go with it. Let's go with it.
Whoa.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
gonna
all
be
right,
different
Jack.
than you guys. I'm gonna go Aces in 5.
Yeah, she's an Asia Wilson fan.
Okay.
Who's not an Asia Wilson fan?
I mean, not me, but I don't know anything. So,
Boom.
Asia Wilson, 3-time MVP.
oh, maybe
That's all you gotta know.
could I go back on my pick now? No, I'm just kidding.
No, Liberty's a good pick. They've
Yeah, Liberty's a
done
good
really well this year. Sabrina Ionescu is going off.
yeah, Sabrina.
Yeah, this is the best of the best going at it right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because this has been the finals matchup for the past 2 years. And they're
Gotcha.
finally playing in the semifinals, so only one of them gets to go back to the finals this year.
Interesting.
Also, another fun fact: Minnesota has had the Defensive Player of the Year for both the NBA and WNBA.
Oh yeah, Nafessa Collier.
Yeah, she was named the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year.
And guess who was named Rookie of the Year?
we
Caitlin
went to her
Clark.
game.
Caitlin Clark?
Yeah,
That's
I'm starting to
crazy.
think Caitlin Clark's pretty good at basketball.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. She should
She
start
is
getting
pretty
some like commercials or something.
yeah,
done or
she should
something.
like really do something.
Yeah.
You should get out there more.
Alrighty, so on the other side of the bracket, it's Minnesota versus Connecticut. Jose, who do you think's gonna win that one?
Well, Connecticut took the first game, but it was only by 3 points. And I think Minnesota is a really good team. I'm going to go with Minnesota in 5.
Okay,
Okay.
Jack.
So I'm seeing Sun and Lynx. I'm guessing Connecticut is
Is Sun.
Suns.
Yeah, Minnesota
And
is
that's
the Lynx.
Caitlin Kwok.
No, Caitlin Clark
Not
got
Caitlin Clark.
eliminated.
Caitlin Clark is
By the Suns.
Indiana.
As
yeah.
you listeners can tell, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's fine.
Massive
We're gonna
knower.
teach you. We're gonna teach you.
I will say this. Going off of logos that I think are cooler, give me
Fernando
the Sun.
response.
Give me the Sun.
Sun in how
Sun?
many games?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep the consistency. Say 3.
Okay.
Sweep?
Say
3. I'll say
Wow.
3.
Gosh.
Wow. Well, what made you think of that, Jack?
I don't know. Maybe some little bird chirped in my ear. Maybe a bird didn't. I don't know.
Okay. I think. Oh my God, this one's really hard. I
It's pretty easy for me.
think. Well, see, I've been watching the WNBA season all summer
Okay.
because I was bedridden because of my knee surgery.
Mm,
So I
Ouch.
just had any sporting event that I could find on the TV, and I grew in love with the WNBA this season.
okay.
So I've watched obviously just the Indiana games against these two teams, but I
Yeah.
know like they're good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think Connecticut's defense is way too good,
Connecticut.
and
Smothering.
Connecticut.
and Alyssa Thomas gets triple doubles out of nowhere.
Mm.
I didn't even know she had a triple double at the game that we went to until like a few
She's
days that
ago.
Good. It was like
In and
out.
It was a sleeper triple double.
Interesting.
Like, I think Alyssa Thomas is so good, and and Dejanay Carrington stepped up so much for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Suns are gonna do it in 5. I think both series will
Wow.
go to 5
Wow.
because
Okay.
those are both really good matchups on both sides of the
Wow.
bracket.
Interesting.
Pretty exciting playoffs.
Interesting.
Pretty exciting playoffs. You know, the WNBA is finally getting the eyes it deserves.
Okay, so you say Liberty, Minnesota.
Liberty, Bibbity, yep.
Liberty
Who
bibbity.
wins finals then?
Liberty.
Liberty.
New York. I gotta go New York. Barclays
Jack,
is a death
yours
trap,
was Liberty Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's gonna win?
How many games is it for
but Finals is best,
Best
of
of-
7.
Is
best
it?
of 7?
Okay.
Finals, yeah.
Best of 7.
Yeah. You don't have to say how many games.
Okay. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be
Look at this
done.
guy.
In 4.
I think it'll be done in 6.
Oh.
I think you're gonna have an
Who?
upset.
Who?
I think you're gonna have Sun take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty bounces back. Redemption.
Oh.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
You're saying the Sun take one at home? I mean, take one away on the road?
I think so. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be like a gut punch, and then Liberty's gonna be like,
We're gonna get it
no.
back.
No.
Word for word, just like that.
Yep.
They're gonna animate a little promo with your voice in it.
Yeah. Put it out on a TikTok. You'll see real soon. I'll figure it
Jack,
out.
you've been killing it with the graphics.
Let me tell you something.
Can we give a shout out to Jack real quick? Because
We can give a shout out to Jack real
Well,
quick.
his
here we
graphics
go.
are awesome,
will-
and
let's
I love
go.
them.
I will say this for all of our listeners, shameless little plug. Please acknowledge the hard work
Please.
that I
Go
put into
comment
this.
on them,
the man is
please.
using his
Comment
wallet as
on
a
them.
phone stand
I'm in
right
my
now.
bed at 2 a.m. I probably should be doing work, but I'm not. I'm on my phone. Brightness is way too bright for the health of my eyes in my room. And I'm like, what would be really funny for the fans of Dogs in the House? And then
All of
I
them.
make them for you. So Acknowledge them, please.
Okay, so my pick, I think
Oh yeah, right.
I think the Suns are gonna do it this year. I
Oh,
think
yeah?
they're gonna
Really?
win. Yeah.
Interesting.
They're so good. Just defensively itself.
How many games?
I'll go 6.
Okay. Would you get that for? No, I was just kidding. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Copying your style.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna copy Jack on his picks for the WNBA
Yeah. I know so much.
as the one person in here who plays women's basketball. I'm gonna follow what Jack says.
Yes. I mean, I would play women's basketball, but they wouldn't let me.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty, so we're gonna end with that this week. Thank you so much for listening to Dogs in the House,
go.
episode
Rough.
3. Please follow us on socials, Instagram, dogs_in_the_house, and
Nice.
on TikTok, dogs.in.the.house.
That's all that was
2
available.
poodles and a pit bull.
No, we're not 2 poodles and a pit bull.
That was a rough joke.
I am, yeah.
rough.
Alrighty, thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you next week.